This is a story about remembering once upon a time is how we mark a beginning. But there are some stories that have no beginning and no ending. Imagine a landscape without a horizon. Imagine the edge of the universe and the way light folds to meet that edge. But there is no edge here, no universe, no fold. Once upon a time, to learn how to tell a story, I gathered language to me. I had forgotten all of my names, but this one given to me in this life. I had forgotten much more than I would ever be able to gather here in this time. Once, a stone rippling, endless surface, once before the word, before even the word. Dreaming is like this. You know things in dreams, and that's the way it is. You don't question, you just know. And remembering is like having a dream, but you are awake. And that's not the way it is. And you question all of it until doubt and fear take it from you. The witch in the candy house wants to eat the children, doesn't she? Doesn't she? Doesn't she? Are all stories about fear? It was not unusual at all. It was the oldest story. A sister goes into the underworld. There are always more worlds than this. There are always the dead, the missing, the invisible, the forgotten. Sometimes we let fear call them monsters. A doll is a type of nothing, is the way the poet would describe it. I am her. She is me. We are the doll. The doll is the dead. The story is what edges us. We lie below, deep. The story goes that she went down, descending beneath into a place she did not belong, had not been, but she was not the first. You can only go to a place if there is a way. Why is there a way? There is a way because there is a place to go. That is how the story goes. It's frightening. Anything could happen, but we are only really afraid of what we can imagine. It's why we can't stop. There's no bottom to fear. What can you imagine? It's what you can't. That is the veil. It slips and moves. As you come closer, it slips and moves. Language is its slippery mirror. It's a type of slip. To use language to create a bridge, sound, too, can build a bridge. Between here and there, a bridge through linear time, between spaces our bodies cannot go, and spaces our minds cannot imagine. What can take you there, light or sound? What moves faster, light? But what comes first? In the beginning is sound. Sound is the bridge towards matter. The more you listened with your newly formed devices for hearing, the matter grasping vibration, a rippling across water, you are a stone dropped into sound. That first sound is you. It's important to remember the way a story goes. It has a path that leads you so you know as you can know, so you can be gentle, gently awoken, and gentle to all that opens. A story holds you. It takes you from one place to another. You cross together. There is the sound of the teller, and there is the silence of the listener. They are indivisible. For what is an unheard sound? What words unseen? What the matter matters? What any against edging the plane of the cosmos, the galaxy you inhabit? Do you recall glimpsing it from above? And how you could hold all of that, and also you incredibly small, the smallest sound you can imagine, the softest, the language can only go so far. It is made up of sound, tamped down into coherent forms. It is the end of sound, the said in place of all that is unsaid, all that is lost in the choosing of one word in place of another, so much of all of it, sacrifice and choice. No one gets off easy. No one chooses this path because it's easy. Easy would be without sound at all. Who chose the first sound? Who or that is the wrong question. Of what cause did sound choose to come? Why did sound choose to come? Why did sound choose silence to break against, to shatter, to fragment? Is it always this way, or do we tell the story? The great rending, golden as light, song, breath, fire, warmth, beating, water, earth, stars, blurring, atom, cell, mind, dust, energy, divinity, hope. Such small scratchings of being human I've collected here. Sift through. Sound shatters silence, but silence holds all sound, like Kali, terrible and unconditional in her devotion, consuming. Sound consumes silence, swallows its tail, great serpent, hold in the core of the earth, where we lick like flame the rim of what ignites. We call that life. She goes down into the underworld and she hangs her skin on a hook. You can't take that with you, that anything you think you know, anything you learn surface side. Do you think it's easy to hang your skin on a hook? Do you even know how to shed your skin, or how to find the hook, or how to face the fear of will you be able to get it back on? What if you take it off and you can't get it back on? See how easy it is for fear to horror story you all the way down. All the way down. I took years. I took lifetimes. I took more time than I will ever recall. You forget so much. I can't tell you the truth of how long I've been here, or how many times I've come round, learning the same story. How do you get your skin off? How do you find the hook? How do you swallow the fear? How do you go down? And this is just the beginning of the story. There is so much more. How many lifetimes did I lose my mind? How many times was I killed for being mad, burned, beaten, taken apart? Do you know how many times I killed myself trying? Do you know how many times I've killed myself trying? I familiar destruction. I familiar destroying myself, dying by my hand, familiar. It is not just a story. All of it is true. All stories are true, though. Isn't that funny? If I tell you a story about how I died, will you believe me? What would it take for you to believe me, to know my suffering, to feel my pain? What kind of story can I tell to buy your trust, to barter your faith, to open your heart to receive? How much of myself must I sacrifice before you choose to see me? I'm not a poet. I'm a clear channel. The way it works is that one has to be here and one has to be there. You don't go into the underworld for nothing, or just because you can. You don't just take off your skin. You have to be desperate, crazy, broken, not well. What kind of person wants to be a channel, would choose this if suffering weren't familiar? Once upon a time, two beings chose to heal a dark crystal missing a shard. Do you know about a division from 2 to 1? Visionary. Blinded to what you are, you have to forget all of it, but suffer anyway. You just know you have to suffer for what you love. That's what you learn here. We chose a mother, we chose a father, we chose a story. This is how the story goes. Once upon a time, there was nothing but silence, and then there was not silence. There was a loud bang, and then there was silence again. I don't know if this is where you begin or end, brother, or unending, brother, universes inside of us all. Who could love all of us, all of this? Who could love us? We chose a family who could love us, as the story goes, because of what came next. When the story began, when I decided to take off my skin, is that the end of me or the beginning? We don't have to live by everyone else's rules. We are the dreamers of the dreams. To walk a thin line, or to say there is actually no line, and you aren't walking. between sane and insane, trapped or free, here or there. There is no line, says the poet. There is no line. Love is the most powerful energy in the universe, and we barely scratch the surface. We are so afraid of how much we can hold. You think, if I could just write the most perfect song to sing more love in, to crack it open, to shatter the sky, the wide open silence. We named all the sounds. We gave a name to every sound. We were the god of sounds, goddess of sounds, creator of sound, destroyer of silence. We named every sound and gave it meaning. We made it all up out of nothing. We made all of this.